Hey Alice, sorry about being shirtless, but couldn't be bothered to put on a shirt just for this. So, alright, first things first, the length, on average, each a word should be 5.6 characters, so if it says 3,500 to 4,300, then, just take the average value, which would be 3,900, and divide that by 5.6, and this should be about 700 words. Alright? So that's the first thing. Second thing, so basically we're looking at точное вхождение, and we're looking at all these words, right? So this work is actually a lot simpler than you might think, or rather than it seems at face value, right? So let's see. I'll go through this with you. So ключевые фразы, в вводном тексте, So look, it actually they give you a very simple structure. It's just текст начинается с заголовка первого уровня, название статьи. Then a brief intro, 2 or 3 sentences, very short. Then the subheading, and then like 2 or 3 short paragraphs, and another subheading. So if you look at the sample that I did for them, that's the exact structure that I used. Just short 2 or 3 sentence intro, subhead, another few paragraphs, subhead, few paragraphs, and so on and so forth, right? So let's say we're doing this thing, right? Average cost of barbecue catering. So they have helpfully given us some links. In the sample, honestly, most of them were just total crap. But, I don't know, let's give them a try for this article and this video. So this is actually not helpful at all. So here we have prices here, right? And we have some information on what's there, right? So here, let's see, 50 guests is 700, which is a lot cheaper. Excuse me. That's like 15 pounds or something like this. Although this does have a lot more food. So I think a better comparison. Let's see. Anyway, so looking at these, we could, for example, like compare the prices for these, and I would just break it up something like, so there would be an intro, then I would say, then I would say something like price range here, and so a few things immediately jump out here, right? So range of per person, barbecue and catering. Notice that as I'm doing this, I'm sort of subtracting the numbers from the words that I'm taking off, or I'm just removing them completely, right? So all these words are just pretty straightforward. They should more or less be mentioned often, because there's 3 of them, so we need one in every section, essentially. So alright, let's actually just do what this SEO person didn't do, and just Google average price BBQ catering UK. Right? So how much do event caterers cost? So this is pretty much in line with what we found earlier. The other 2 caterers were priced at like £15 and £35, right? So here I see they have the oh, this is actually a great article. This is pretty much everything we're looking for, right? So I would do something like, where is that? I would just rip these guys in a way, right? And then I would just rework the text trying to get these keywords in. So let's see. I would just straight up, BBQ catering prices can vary vary greatly. So here we've got these 2 words. If you're hosting a small event, you may pay as much as £40 to £50 for quality caterer with their own equipment. If you're hosting a larger event with some of your with disposable cutlery, you may get away. You may not get away. You may let's see some other keyword. You can put together a great barbecue menu for as little as £10 to £15 per guest or per person. Next, I basically jump right into it. So here, I read this, right, and then I say, at first, you might be surprised that few caterers put up specific price points on their websites. The difference in pricing might surprise you. You may also be surprised to learn that few caterers put up specific prices on their websites. However, the explanation is simple. And here I would again just so the costs the caterer has to pay when serving your guests vary greatly from event to event. A few miles difference in locations or a difference of 5 guests can significantly affect how much you're paying per guest. The simplest way to get an accurate idea is to consider the points on this page and to ask a quality provider in your area for a quote based on your minimum expected number of guests. So here I've written like 150 words, which is like a quarter. No, 700, almost a quarter, without the intro of what this article is going to be. It took me all of like 5 minutes. So, with a little practice, with a little practice, you should be able to crank out 700 words like this. Definitely, for sure, in an hour. So, the main thing, what I didn't do, is to really plan this stuff and not to be like me freestyling this and just looking at one source, but to really map out exactly what you're going to say. In fact, if you have free time today, I would just really recommend you do 4 hours of this. 4 hours of just copying little blurbs, cutting and pasting, and planning where you're going to put what, because obviously what I'm doing now is not great, so it would be better to just do this, let's say. Right, and then so I've used both of these, I think. Let me check. Yeah, I've used both of these. So we're clear on that, we can forget that. I actually used this a bunch of times too. So prices we can put to 2. I already used it twice. Cost I've used once. Sorry, so that leaves 2 that we still have to use it. Oh, prices and price are different. Anyway, just plan this stuff. Do your research. Do some simple copy and pasting. And basically look where you can save time. So if you're doing the average costs of barbecue catering, you can reuse the information that we just said when you're doing the piece on buffet catering prices, right? So when you were copying that document, open another one side by side, which would say like buffet catering prices, and then just paste like that blurb or something else from the same page, and then also have a thing like, you may be surprised that, so here we had this, right? So you may be surprised that most caterers don't put up their buffet offer item prices on their websites. The reason isn't that businesses in the industry hike prices up when they know you have an important event coming up. The reason isn't that the real reason is simply that most businesses